Right, and we should be live. So go ahead.
Hello. Welcome to week 21, the last week of the Tier 3 regular season. And we have an interesting match. We the Opps versus Crusaders. Stardust Crusaders, to be exact. Stardust Crusaders, second team in the standings currently. But they do have the win over the first team, so that is something. But against We the Opps, who are, I believe, the 5 or 6 seed.
Sixth seed as of right now. They are now below I Need Healing after they got their win. No, both I Need Healing and We the Opps are 6 and 4, but I Need Healing has the better map differential.
And We the Opps is coming off of some interesting moves, losing Super Ninja, Disco, and I think those are actually the only two.
And technically Prophetic one now as well.
Technically a Prophetic one as well.
Have him either.
So you have lost like 3 very good players in the last, I'd say 4 weeks of Tier 3. 5 weeks maybe.
Yeah. They did get one win, though, against Pizza Planet, where they looked pretty good, and they even had a close game against Prodigy Noobs, and they did alright against Cosmic Omnics, so it does appear that We the Opps, they can still compete, for sure. But, yeah, you definitely lose some of that maybe high upside that you had when you had guys like Super Ninja and Disco there, but we'll have to see. They have a new player here, Strozel, looking to show the far right off the bat. They are in 11 on DPS, so they're hoping they can add to that DPS line, which has had some question marks all season, but we'll have to see.
Crusaders are going to start on the brawl that they're very good at with the Kree and the Hanzo, with the Bap and the Lucio. They're going to just try and overwhelm this Sigma D.Va comp. They do have the Far though, so they do have to make sure that they can counter it. And that's Uravity already getting the pick onto the Mercy. He's probably looking for another one onto the Far. That's going to be Wakaucha getting the pick actually onto Strozel. And now it's just Strife and Hopkins on the point. They're going to take the space here. Fenzi can't play too aggressive. You're on the Sigma. There goes IQ on the Mei. And that's just going to be a 1-5 through Crusaders. Very clean fight. No casualties. No real point of stopping their push.
And we are going to see Strozel swap immediately onto the McCree. That's a good idea, because this tank line isn't actually half bad against what Stardust Crusaders are running. You can have the D.Va eat a lot of that spam when you go through the chokes, but with that Hanzo in play, and not a lot of other options to peel for them besides the Mercy, I didn't think that the Far was going to get much value, so we'll see the hit scan battle here, Strozel versus Uravity.
Yeah, and you see playing very patiently as Crusaders. They're waiting for We the Opps to take a fight here, because Crusaders know that they don't have to take the fight here, because We the Opps have to actually play very passively, and they have to take the point. And here's We the Opps trying to make a rotation, but Crusaders acknowledging it and rotating over there, making sure they can't move. The Dragons are used, and so is the Immortality Field. IQ trying to get the off angle on the Mei is gonna be stopped. Strozel just using the stun, but Uravity picks him off before he can turn the corner. And that's going to be probably another fight win. Actually, they're going to res Strozel, try and keep this fight alive for We the Opps, but they're just losing time. They can't push in, they aren't getting the picks, and they have no, Mei wall on any of these tanks to push up on, and Magic Man loses his mech here. This could be very bad for We the Opps if they don't get something going here. They're going to use the window, and Fenzi's going to use the Flux. He's going to pick up 4 with it, but the Immortality Field and the Lucio beat are going to keep the team alive. The window is still up, but it's not going to get much. Gravity's going to use the High Noon just to space him away, not going to get anything. Fenzi and IQ Simple go down, and that's going to be a fight win for Stardust Crusaders, and we're going into 1-fight territory already.
Yeah, Strozel going down early did not help. Couldn't take those off angles, and, you know, one of the things we mentioned about the tank composition is they don't have much shields, so Wakaucha on the Hanzo can really melt them down if Magic Man isn't using his defense matrix correctly.
And no one's going to be able to touch. They aren't able to get there. And, you know, you almost wonder if, We the Opps have to change up the tank line a little bit to something that can engage onto the team, either without having to brawl them, dive, or having to brawl them. As you just see Magic Man swapping over to the Rhine, Fenzi onto the D.Va. So you're going to see them trying to take a brawl here, and that's smart. They have to if they're going to try and win this win this next map because Crusaders played that so smart last map. They had the range, they played grouped, they played very opportunistic.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen Fenzi on the Wrecking Ball yet. I think it would have been interesting to see if they had commit to full dive there. I think that could have given them an edge against that tough brawl comp from Stardust Crusaders, but perhaps Fenzi not feeling comfortable on the ball right now.
That could be something as Couch actually falls on the Junkrat to the low ground, but here we have the wall already used from IQ Simple, no big wall. Uravity's going to use that wall, give Strife some time to get healed up and be able to retake the fight. Fenzi falling desperately low in that back, and Strozel though gets the pick onto Uravity on the off angle, but down goes Skillmatic. There's your Moira down, you only have the Lucio heals, and IQ goes down too. That Junkrat's putting in a lot of spam damage. And there goes Magic Man as well, and Crusaders are just going to take the fight here. We the Opps looked strong at the beginning, but you know, just the overall durability of Crusaders comp works better here.
Yeah, and that's just kind of mainly the Junkrat being the difference maker there. I don't know, Magic Man must not be keeping his shield up enough because, I mean, Couch was basically just spamming there and got those kills.
And Hopkins is going to find both supports with one secondary fire on the Zarya, and we the Opps already have to back up. They cannot take this fight without supports. They are looking for the under approach, and Mag Dragon's actually going to spot it. They're going to get spotted here, and they have to back up. No wall used yet, and Uravity's actually going to use the wall. It's a big wall, but the wall from IQ Simple is going to give them the space to, you know, play safe here. Magic Man, interesting pin there, does just hit the wall right in front of him, but you know, I've hit those a couple times too. Strife does have the shatter though. The grab is online, and a big shatter from Strife, and a tire from Couch to seal the deal. And that's going to be a quick fight win for Crusaders.
Yeah, and solid ult usage there too. They're coming up. Sidomia goes down, but they're coming up with Grab and Blizzard as well. If they use these effectively, I think this will be another 100-0, and Stardust Crusaders will win the
This
first
is an interesting play by Fenzi. Oh no, Fenzi. Oh no, and they can't save him either. That's rough. IQ Simple though is going to get a pick onto the Junkrat with the Soldier now. Grab used by Ant Hopkins, and so is the Blizzard by Uravity. It's a big one. They need to push up on it though. Magic Man dies during the shatter. His shatter gets canceled. And now they're forced to back up, and they have to get into one fight territory. They actually have to swap to the ball from Magic Man to touch. Fenzi's actually going to touch onto the point, but can Fenzi get out with their life? I don't think they can. They get DMAC'd again. That's another time where you kind of wonder if Fenzi just feeds there. It doesn't get much value off of it, but Magic Man otherwise is going to touch the point on the Wrecking Ball. The Death Blossom isn't going to get anything from Strozel. Magic Man just trying to roll around on point on the ball, keep contesting. Doesn't seem to be getting much here though. The break from Skillmatic now touching the point, but he's not on right now. Magic Man's got the wall, but he's able to recirculate. He's ready to spin around again, but he's not going to be able to last much longer. That overtime bar is going to stop going down faster. Window used now. It's only IQ. IQ's going to go down. Crusaders take map 1 pretty handily.
And you know, both of the Lucios had good sound barriers there. Deca actually kind of had the sound barrier for both the Graviton Surge and the Blizzard, so I was actually a little worried that Stardust Crusaders went a little quick with both of those ultimates. They should have spaced them out, but the Blizzard was enough to get the shielding out of the way. They did a lot of damage. We the Opps couldn't really aggress, and I gotta say, I don't really like the Lucio Brig comp we were seeing from We the Opps. I just don't think that's enough healing for what they were trying to do, especially the Reinhardt that can take so much damage. Like, and I don't even really know what the Brig was for. Like, they didn't really have anyone on their team that they desperately needed a Brig. If they were gonna swap to Brig, they should have had Deca switch to Brig and had Skill stay on the Moira.
Yeah, I think right now with the Opps doesn't, like, from what I can see, they seem to not like be lost almost in these fights. Like, you could tell when Fenzi and Strozer were the only ones alive, and Fenzi kind of just like Strolzo got one low, and Fenzi flew in thinking they could get the pick, but ends up just kind of feeding there because they just kind of fly into their back line, and then they all collapse on the D.Va. It just like it seems almost as if they should, you know, play a more divey comp if they're gonna play so split too. I think that might be smarter if you are with the Opps too, because you saw Magic Man play the ball there. We mentioned earlier how Fenzi plays ball, and both of them play D.Va as well. I think a ball D.Va could be a comp that they could run. It really comes down to if they can run the dive DPS. IQ could maybe run the Sombra. I don't completely know Strolzo's hero pool because I believe this is their first game, but maybe they play the Tracer, or even like a Pharah or the Kree again, or something that can, you know, help them engage into these fights. They need some sort of way to engage on Crusaders without going head on.
And it's unfortunate for We the Opps. They are missing Ausdagod, who had a really excellent performance against Pizza Planet, and he's been kind of their guy that can kind of play a bunch of different supports, mainly a lot of those, you know, aim damage-oriented ones like Bap and Zen that I think We the Opps just play better with overall. So, you know, Skillmatic and Decagoody, they play a lot of the brawl healers, you know, like the Mercy, Moira, Lucio, but that's about it for them, so they're probably going to have to stick to those comps, because I don't think they really have anyone else here on support. I think the big thing, though, is I'm sure We the Opps are about to get Budweiser back in here, and he is definitely a player that can come in and help this team. I mean, whether you agree with how he plays Rein or not, he still has been one of the most successful Reins this season. I mean, you just never know where he's coming from, and it's hard to predict what he'll do, and that's what kind of makes him so dangerous. As for Stardust Crusaders, we're going to see Magdragon come in and play some tank. They have played some tank before throughout the season to some mixed results, but overall I'd say Magdragon has still been pretty solid overall. They're actually going to have Eldritch Arcana go back to support. Eldritch Arcana obviously playing a lot of off tank this season, but obviously we know back in seasons 3 and 4 how good they were at support, and they have shown some support this season as well, and they definitely have not missed a beat. So Gravity and Wakaucha will stay on the DPS duo, although they have Dash on the bench that they can call upon if perhaps they need a... Well, Dash would usually play the McCree before, but Gravity kind of kicking some butt on the McCree there on Busan, so we'll have to see what Dash comes in and play. I think Dash has also played some Reaper.
Welcome to Blizzard World. Initiating match.
And I do believe that I have lost my co-commentator, so for the moment it is just me.
Ready for battle.
So,
Wait,
of course,
Did
Budweiser.
Sammy leave?
I have
Sorry.
no idea.
He
He's
just went quiet.
off the mic, but that's okay. I can take play-by-play for now until he gets back. Budweiser, obviously gonna go the Ryan. Pretty much has played only Ryan this season, maybe a little bit of Orisa. Magdragon also going to play the Rhine. That's kind of what I was expecting. They usually typically play the main tanks, and Hopkins going to head to Zarya. And is that Zanny I hear?
Yeah, I'm back. I had to grab my food. Sorry, it was very sudden. But
You did
returned
get the
just in
offer
time.
from Charles in chat, saying he'd love to commentate and help you through chat.
Let's go. Thanks,
I
Charles.
was so excited. I was going to get to see play-by-play.
Fenzi taking a very aggressive angle with that Sigma. Ends up, you know, getting out with their life, but very scary angle. But they do end up, it does end up working. They are halfway to that flux already, and Magic Man gets one, and so does IQ, and they have to back up.
And that's exactly how you want to start this map, with a dominant team fight victory. You kind of got your butts whooped on control there, but it's all good if you're able to come back on these other map types. And look at that, Magic Man and IQ Simple already getting 2 picks to start off this map. That's another switch, having Magic Man come back in here, play that Junkrat, which has been very good this season. Hopefully
Buttweiser on tank.
Convert this to a good defense. Yep, we were talking about that before the map started.
Buttweiser, very aggressive Reinhardt.
And we'll have to see. So IQ Simple is going to have to be careful against the Wakaucha Ashe. Obviously, it's a long-range hit scan battle, but one headshot can possibly take IQ Simple out of the fight.
Mag Dragon's gonna get the pick on the Skillmatic, and Buttweiser ends up getting put into the corner. That's 2 picks already. Big Flux, though, picks up 2. Actually, that's 3, and they actually get 2 picks off of it as well. Very winnable fight. Magic Man is gonna use the tire now, gets 3! Magic Man! Make it a 4K for him.
So with Magic Man, we know how aggressive he can be with the tires, and it can certainly be to his detriment, but that was a very good tire. He put himself in a spot where I don't think they knew where the tire was coming from. He was safe, protected by the team, and he knew he could turn around the team fight. So that is exactly what Magic Man needs to do more if he can hit those tires consistently. This the Opps team is going to be tough to beat.
Especially the timing there. Eldritch Arcana uses the Immortality, and Insane is very close to the beat, but doesn't have it. So his tire is in perfect spot. Perfect timing. As you can see, they rotate all the way around. They're going to take this high ground from behind him. Gravity's going to use the tire. Watch out, though. It's going right towards Deca, who just used the Coalescence, and they're going to be down on Moira. IQ Simple, though, is going to use the visor on the high ground, even though Crouch gets Skill Mag. That's both supports down for the Opps. Fenzi, though, is going to get Gravity. Fenzi's going to get 2, actually. Is going to get Flash Fan by Wakaucha, though. IQ, though, still trying to take the high ground. Wakaucha is still in the fight, still getting the picks, make that 3. IQ on the high ground, but I don't think he's going to be able to get much done. The shield's there, so is the Immortality.
And great job there from Stardust Crusaders. We saw Mag Dragon and Eldritch Arcana head back towards attackers' spawn after capturing point A, and they sat in that room to avoid IQ Simple's tack visor, and it was nice because Eldritch Arcana was also on BAP, and I think they were getting some long-range heals on Ant Hopkins and Wakaucha, who were on the other side, and kept them alive. So they had 2 people looking at both of the tanks, so they were able to take out Buttweiser and Fenzi with ease.
Yeah, and Gravity actually gets picked immediately by IQ Simple. Here's going to be the Shatter from Mag Dragon. It's going to knock down 1. That might be it, though. Mag Dragon, though, is going to back up here. Playing with the cart here is going to be Crusaders. Wakaucha has the high noon, they have the window, and they have the grab. Let's see what they combo here. Fenzi, though, does get caught in the back line, almost had the flux. That is not a good spot for your Sigma. There goes Buttweiser. Both tanks down, and that's going to be the Opps having to back up here. Deca's going to get taken down as well. They have the tire, though. IQ's going to get a pick onto the BAP, so he's going to live for a little bit longer. Maybe even get a pick onto the Junkrat if they can. Magic Man has the tire on the high ground. Wakaucha, though, is going to duel it. IQ is going to knock him down, though, with the pressure. Someone has to touch, and they're going to touch with .69 is IQ. Big tire, maybe, from Magic Man. Flux is used as well, and Magic's going to find 2, and the Opps turn that by the what's the metaphor I'm looking for?
Skin of their teeth. Yeah,
that
very
one.
Close. I honestly thought they weren't gonna touch, and I was gonna be like, oh no. But one thing with Fenzi right now, he's kind of playing Sigma as if he's playing Diva, so he really cannot get caught out by himself, especially when he had Moira and Brig for healing. Like, yeah, Brig can throw the armor packs on him, but that's not gonna be enough. The Sigma check if they're all by themselves. So Fenzi, it's okay to take off angles, but they do have to be careful. They gotta know where their team is.
Yes, High Noon, used from Wakaucha on the off angle is gonna cancel Deca. Deca cannot get a single Coalescence here without getting ulted. Buttweiser's gonna solo shatter the Zarya. They're just not gonna push up on it. Fenzi, though, is in trouble on the Sigma. They have to get the healing here. They're not going to. They're going to get taken down, but the Zenyatta from Skillmatic is going to put in the rest of the work. Buttweiser still has that Zen Orb and can push up a little bit, but will the Opps take another fight, win, and it was a scrappy one.
Yeah, it's with Zen Moira. It's not my favorite team comp, but I actually think that this is something that could help with the Opps. Having those Discord orbs target, getting the targets to focus. Just overall, especially with the 2 DPS that they have, I mean, they can melt people. And even having Deca Goody on the Moira, I think, is probably her best character. So
here's a rest in a shatter blocked by Mag Dragon. Buttweiser though a little bit too far in the pin. Visor now used from IQ though is gonna pick off Insane. Gravity falling low is gonna get taken down. IQ is gonna get the Immortality Field as well. And Hopkins though is still pushing the cart. Mag Dragon's gonna get the pound to Buttweiser. They have to stay on the point. And wait, this is turnable. A 3-person army, and Mag Dragon and Hopkins and Ultra Charcana are gonna win this fight actually. Magic Man though gets another 3K, but he can't touch Ultra Charcana, and the rest of the team are gonna make it there.
wow, that would have been something. So those are the tires that we want Magic Man to maybe try and avoid using less. It's unfortunate that he got taken out in that team fight early, and he basically just got back and was able to use it. That could have been the fight winner there if Magic Man had stayed alive. Tired.
Well, I don't know, used by Ant Hopkins, but the Transcendence is there from Skillmatic to keep them alive, and if Buttweiser approaching the Shatter as well, and so does Fenzi also have their all. Big Shatter though knocks down 3 from Buttweiser. Pound to the Zarya as well. Big Flux is gonna put up 2, but they're actually 3, but they're gonna use the beat in the Immortality Field, so they will not die by it. Still a winnable fight for both teams. Fenzi though falls off the map. Buttweiser though pins Maggie into their backline. They're gonna have to back up. Buttweiser is backing up with the shield though. They're gonna try and keep the team alive. Deca does have the Coalescence. He's ended up actually taking out Mag Dragon, and with Couches, High Noon doesn't get anyone. This could be big. Buttweiser approaching already 60% to another Shatter. They could take this fight again, but Skillmatic's gonna get taken down to Zenyatta. Buttweiser though is gonna play aggressive. His Moira is back, so he can play, with some force here. Push up with Coucher though on the flank. Isn't gonna be able to take out Deca, but Ant Hopkins takes out Magic Man. Buttweiser goes down 2, and it seems like in overtime, Crusaders might take this.
Yeah, we'll see. IQ Simple has the Tac Visor, and Magic Man is getting close to the tire. They could hold here. It's gonna be tough, especially with Eldritch Arcana's Amplification Matrix.
Magic Man does get the touch. Fenzi on the ball now. Buttweiser almost has a shatter. The big shatter though from Maggie, gonna keep them from touching. Now IQ on the Reaper ain't gonna be able to touch for long if they focus fire. Skillmatic approaching the Transcendence, but isn't gonna be able to get it before they die. Magic Tire from Spawn, but no one's there, buddy. And that's gonna be Crusaders taking it in overtime though.
I'm not sure why IQ Simple swapped off the Soldier there. That does not make a lot of sense to me. He had his ult. Soldier is already one of the stall characters that you use. That was an interesting decision from IQ Simple. I don't know if they were thinking possibly stalling on point long enough for Magic Man to get the tire. I don't know. They wasted an ult that could have at least melted some shield or even taken out one support, and every pick is crucial in that instance, especially since it was in overtime. All they needed to do was win that one fight. That was an interesting decision from IQ Simple there.
Yeah. You circle back to when Fenzi falls off the map there, and that fight was winnable for both teams until that happened, I think. Because then you're like, okay, one team has both tanks, one team only has one tank. And then Fenzi falls off, and Buttweiser has to pin back to his team with the flank pin.
I just want to say that Fenzi did get booped. I think he just landed on the edge of the ledge and just kind of slipped off, so it didn't count as a kill for the Lucio, but he did get booped.
You will see a double shield though from Crusaders here. They tend to like running down on this map. The Sig, the Orisa, the Bap, and the Brig. But yeah, you do see Mag Dragon on the Orisa, Ant Hopkins on the Sigma, a very good tank combo here. And now you're gonna see Buttweiser though on the Reinhardt they're gonna actually rotate around to the other side, but Magdragon's gonna pick off Magic Man trying to take the off angle on the Hanzo. IQ on the Tracer, but I don't see him anywhere, and he's actually gonna be in the kill feed, but on the other side that he'd like to be, excuse me, Fenzi is gonna get taken down on the Diva as well. Then there's a reset for We the Opps.
Yeah, great job from Magdragon to notice the out of position player. I can't remember who it was, but
Magic Man.
So yeah, then this is kind of the main reason I think they brought Magdragon in, because they like to have her Orisa. That's mainly the Magdragon's kind of the only one who consistently plays Orisa. Strife does as well, but I'm guessing maybe Magdragon is a little better for SR purposes.
Well, Coucha is going to get a pick automatically that wanted to Skillmatic, and Buttweiser is going to pin right into a fortified Orisa. End up falling. So much damage there. Magic Man's going to get rocked. IQ gets taken down by Wakaucha on the Widow. And I will say, I did not expect to not see a Widow. I expected to see a Widow this match, at least, like, once. Because Wakaucha is debatably one of the best Widows in Tier 3. And, them not playing it would be a crime in a match.
Yeah, I would definitely agree, especially on this map when you have, you know, this long sightline kind of choke area. We'll kind of see. We don't really see a lot of members of We the Opps playing those long-range hit scan characters except for soldiers, so Wakaucha might be going relatively uncontested.
Blocks from Hopkins isn't going to find anything, but Uravity ends up picking off Buttweiser anyway. Rally used by Ultra Darkana, just giving everyone extra armor. IQ is on the high ground on the Soldier, actually going to chase the Widow there. IQ's going to get a pick onto the Widow, maybe trying to live here on the Soldier, put out the jukes, but he's going to end up dying before he gets another pick.
So, we do see We the Opps coming up with the slight ult advantage, but the problem is you can already almost chalk up Fenzi's ult to probably not going to get a whole lot because of this double shield comp. If anything, you know, it'll maybe zone out some of the players. The big thing is going to be Magic Man's dragons. Maybe they start off with Fenzi's Diva Bomb, try and get them into a bad position, and Magic Man can throw the dragons.
I think the X Factor might actually be Buttweiser's Shatter that he's approaching here. If he doesn't find anyone here, I think that's going to be a hard time finding kills right now. Magic Man, though, is going to use the Dragons. They're going to use the Immortality Field. Bomb coming through. They're going to end up picking off the Orisa. The Orisa's down. Shatter is going to come onto the Baptiste. They're going to go down. That is going to be 3 ults used already, though. And Uravity's still going to get a pick onto Fenzi. He's taking the high ground. Has the high noon. He's going to use it. Is anyone going to be able to stop him? He's going to get a pick onto Deca. This could be a winnable fight. And Hopkins is still getting the picks. They have to keep Buttweiser alive. And Hopkins is getting the picks on the Sigma right now. Make it 3 for him. And that's going to be Stardust Crusaders holding.
Yeah, they didn't take out Wakaucha. Wakaucha was just sitting there up in the back high ground, or kind of that defender's right high ground, just doing pretty much uncontested
damage. And
damage.
Fenzi gets DMX. I think that's their touch. Magic Man actually is going to be able to touch on the Joker. No! He was too high!
Yeah, that's going to be Stardust Crusaders taking the 2-0 lead here. Magic Man with some good plays on the defense. Yep, this was the one. Definitely had a chance to get the full hold here. So, unfortunate map for We the Opps, as they did look pretty good at times on the defense, but allowed too much and couldn't really get any momentum on that attack.
I think that even though it's kind of like a bread and butter comp, I think Rein Zarya might have been better. And that's because if you're running the Rein Diva, I don't think
Fenzi plays Zarya. We haven't seen him play Zarya.
That's the thing, is like they don't have the Zarya player currently, which kind of hurts them. But you almost wonder, like, why would you play Hanzo there if you don't have the Zarya? Like, I get Hanzo can be viable without Zarya, but if you're gonna run Brawl and run a Hanzo, you almost want the Zarya because Grab Dragon is so strong that, like, it's almost as if you either don't want to run the Hanzo or you should run the Zarya.
So yeah, now we have to see. Obviously, we the Opps don't really have too many players on the bench right now. Perhaps they'll bring in Strozel back. Perhaps we'll see some more of his hero pool. But at the same time, you know, Magic Man and IQ Simple has kind of been the DPS duo. We also see Dark Psalm from time to time as well. I think they said that he was maybe gonna show up, but obviously not here right now. That is definitely a player that they have really liked having back lately. They didn't play as much in the beginning of the season, but they have been playing a lot more. And unfortunately, they did hit Diamond on support, which was, in my opinion, their best role, but they can still play a mean DPS as well.
Yeah, I think actually something that could work here is Magic Man and Strozel. It seems like Strozel was actually pretty good at like the hit scan heroes and like the heroes that you usually shoot like non-projectiles, I guess. The non-projectile heroes. Of course he played the Pharah, but he seemed to, you know, be competent on the McCree and the Reaper. You almost wonder if you want to play him and Magic on the same DPS duo.
Possibly. Have we the Opps given us their map swaps? Let me check. Okay, so we're actually gonna see Strozel come in and play tank. Interesting. And
I think that could be good because I mean, if they play the hit scans, right? Zarya is like a hit scan tank almost. Like if you have good tracking, then you can play Zarya decently well. I think bubble management is also a very big part of it, but tracking, if you have high charge, is like the biggest thing, in my opinion, almost. So if you can track well, then I think this could be a perfect run Zarya comp if Strozel plays a Zarya and plays it well.
We're gonna see Dash check in for the first time tonight here for Stardust Crusaders. Well, actually, it makes sense that he's in with Uravity. I was going to say kind of redundant because Uravity already plays the McCree, like I assume Dash will probably. But in this situation, now you have Uravity that can comfortably play the McCree here, whereas Wakaucha more known for those long-range hit scans, although I think was playing some McCree there on Blizzard World, so definitely is a character that they can play. But so I would assume we're going to continue to see Brawl comps, Uravity playing the Junkrat, Dash playing the McCree, and that has really been, you know, Stardust's bread and butter all season. We're also going to see Strife and Eldritch Arcana for the first time tonight, I believe, because I think it was Strife and Ant Hopkins on the first map.
Mm-hmm.
And Sane and Mag Dragon for support, so yeah, luxury for Stardust Crusaders. Definitely a lot more players on the bench. Not a whole lot. Looks like they only have two. Well, they did have three. With it looks like Wakaucha had to split, but they no doubt played great on those first two maps. But plenty of people on the bench and plenty of people who can play different roles too if they want. You know, they can have Mag Dragon play support or tank. Same thing. Same thing with Eldritch Arcana. Can play support or tank. So
yeah, both these teams have. I will say the one thing that like I think is really hurting with the Opps is a hero pool. They seem to like the players that are in are very good at the heroes they play, but they don't have the deepest hero pool. Is what is hurting them.
Yes,
like IQ
sure.
has been playing the soldier, and I think that's been almost about it tonight. They've played a little bit of Mei. I think they usually play Doomfist as well, and they're playing Sim now. But like Magic Man usually only plays the Junkrat. Played a little bit of Hanzo. Fenzi usually only plays Diva. Magic plays Diva when he's on tank, but is usually the Rhine player. Dekka's like got some flexibility on support, but you can only take the team so far on support. Unless you're playing Zenyatta or Baptiste, two supports who can like do high damage, but like at this rank you're not going to see that much. and with Crusaders, they're flexible around a lot of heroes. They're playing a lot of different comps. They're changing comp if they need to. I think that's something that We The Opps wishes they could do right now. Strozzel's gonna play the Zarya.
Yeah, but the other thing that's surprising, Dash just gonna come in and play the Junkrat instead of Gravity? Things are kind of upside down right here in Stardust Crusaders now, I gotta say.
Yeah. I can hear that. Eldritch Arcana kind of just like popping on the D.Va here, getting pick after pick. They tried to use the TP strap, but Dash got a pick instantly before the TP even went up. So you can't really teleport there if you're down. I believe it was a support too. I believe it was either Skill or Deca. And especially when it comes down to the Sim teleport strat, because you need your whole team to be alive.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that they are gonna try and stick with this Sim teleport strat, especially now that Stardust Crusaders know that it's coming. I mean, they were probably already possibly expecting it too, but so we'll kind of see what they want to do here.
They're gonna try it again. They're gonna TP to point, but Magic Man gets taken out. But Dash ends up getting taken out by the total mayhem. Strife though is gonna get a pick on the Skillmatic, and We The Opps are very split here. They have to get out.
Yeah, Dash did a good job there. He was up on top of the archway, and he waited until they were inside the room, and then he had an easy pick onto Skillmatic. Unfortunately, he did fall to the total mayhem, but that just made the team fight just go completely haywire for We The Opps, and now here we go. Half their time bank is depleted, and
IQ is one in the rotation. They're still on the Symmetra, and they're gonna end up going down. That's rough. They either need to swap off the Sim or they need to get a clean TP, and I think swapping off might be smarter.
And look at Dash. He's coming up from behind.
Oh, he's waiting.
They don't know. They don't know.
They don't know. 3 man. Buttweiser is gonna be able to get the health pack and live. He's actually gonna, you know, befriend Dash. That man Dash is just gonna finish him off. And Uravi's gonna get the quick tactical crouch.
Yeah, I mean, we need to see We The Opps, you know, call out these Junkrats sooner. I mean, Dash is just having unbelievable free range, and Magic Man gonna go to the Pharah despite Uravi on the Ashe with no mercy pocket. We The Opps really struggling for answers right now.
Yeah, and now you wonder, like, if this was a point where it's like, now you almost want Frenzy on tank, and a flank shatter from Strife. Skill is going to be able to live by the skin of their teeth with that Bat from Mortality Field, and the Coalescence from Deca is also going to keep him topped up. Buttweiser almost has the shatter, but Dash is behind him, and the Bob. That is just not where you want to be as a Reinhardt. IQ on the high ground, but Strife is flanking him on Reinhardt. Uravi's going to get picked off by him, but Mag Dragon, almost a res connoisseur at this point on Mercy. Tier 2 and Tier 3 season, you've seen her pull off some amazing reses all season. She's a lunatic on Mercy, like mentally, but like gameplay wise, she gets away with it. So
yeah, and I just don't know if we're gonna see We The Opps be able to do this, especially with Dash behind
Tire.
again.
He's actually not gonna find anything. The bubbles from Strozzel are very good, but can they touch? Buttweiser, they have to focus on the touch instead of taking the fight. And they're gonna be able to touch though. They're gonna be able to touch. The grab from Strozzel actually might allow them to get a tick. No, Insane's actually gonna drop, preventing them from getting one. Uravi's gonna pick off Skill though. Bomb though from Eldritch Arcana. The wall from Magic Man saves him. Buttweiser ends up getting no one with the shatter. IQ gets a pick, and a tick is captured. They do have a win condition here if they lose this fight here. Eldritch Arcana is gonna end up picking off too, but Strozzel on the Zarya trying his hardest to stay alive here. And here comes Deca on the Mortar too, just trying to keep him alive. Deca bounced off the point, but they're able to touch just barely. I don't think anyone else is going to be able to get there, and no. And you almost wonder if Skill should have swapped to the Lucio there, even though they had window to touch, but Crusaders...
It's one of those things, I'm sure they were on their way back when the team fight was still up for grabs, so in a case like that, it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
wonder, like,
Initiating
yeah.
match.
I think the main thing that We the Ops screwed up there is that, well, for sure, they kind of, like, panicked at the end and made sure they touched point. I think they should have gone quicker and used the Graviton Surge where they did, but they should have stayed on the high ground and had only one person go and touch the point, have the rest of the members follow up on the Graviton Surge, and I think they could have easily have won that team fight, but
Ready
just
for
kind of
battle.
another miscommunication there from We the Ops, not knowing how much time they had left before they needed to touch, you know. Strozel kind of just throwing in that Grav where it didn't get a lot of value, you know.
Attackers incoming in 30
It's kind of one of those things with We the Ops that's kind of been one of their things, is that they do lack some of that coordination at times, so, and especially it doesn't help when half of your tank duo is still pretty new to the team.
I think another thing that kind of like ruins them there is they don't swap off that sim fast enough. I think they had a viable strat at the beginning with like the first fight, and then they got caught and they stayed on the sim for 3 fights. And also, I think Buttweiser kind of threw his shatter away at the end there. He shatters no one when he could have saved that for when like 3 or more people touch. Buttweiser though, kind of just like pinning in. They're gonna take the quick fight here. The sim TP's up though, and they're gonna be able to get to point 6 on point now. They have lost the point control. Strozel is there on the Diva, but he's going to get melted very quickly with the Symmetra. Buttweiser going in for the pin, not going to catch anyone. Uravity, though, on the Symmetra is beaming him down. Buttweiser swinging for all hopes, but that's going to be the map in the game. Crusaders 3-0 currently.
And definitely Stardust, one of the best teams at those sim strats. Uravity, very textbook, knows where all the teleporter spots are. They get in there. Stardust Crusaders, they just do a good job at protecting Uravity so they can just continually build up that beam. And yeah, here's that tire. Great job from Dash playing flank rat a little bit. Oh, and we even get to see the little befriendment there before Dash ultimately gets his squadra kill.
Yeah, you almost wonder if We the Ops are just like down in mental right now. They actually, with Buttweiser leaving, they do not have 6. I wonder if
No,
he
I
either...
think they do. I think they do, because remember Fenzi's on... Or, oh yeah,
Fenzi's
left
gone.
as well. Oh yeah, huh.
I wonder if We the Ops is gonna have to forfeit last map.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see if Buttweiser comes back or Fenzi does, but if not, then this will be probably a map forfeit for We the Ops, and they'll technically take this a loss 4-0 without even getting a chance to make it 3-1.
Well, luckily for We the Ops, they still have their playoff spot in check. They are guaranteed to be the 6th seed now, and interestingly enough, if they do take the 4-0 here... Oh, looks like Dark Psalm's gonna come in and play a little bit. Maybe Magic Man goes back to tank with Strozel and Dark Psalm comes in to play some DPS, but now it is official. We the Ops clinched the 6th seed, but if they take the 4-0, or the 0-4 here, they're actually going to have a negative map differential on the season, which is kind of interesting. A lot of their games have been actually very close. I think 3 of their 6 wins, they've only gained 1 map, because they've won 2 map 5s, and they won against Pizza Planet 2-1-1, so...
Yeah,
and they've
that
gone
is
4-0'd a couple times.
that is interesting. And I believe 7 seed is KO? Cosmo?
Right now, it's Diving Phoenix by a map.
Diving
So
Phoenix is
so
7 seed.
remember, that's our last little playoff scenario. So Diving Phoenix, the big thing is they just need to avoid a 4-0. If they can at least take 1 map off, if they just take 1 map off of White Walkers, they have a good chance. They at least get the scenario where if KO beats Tater Tots in their game this week, which is looking like it's going to be the last game of the season, which might be for the final playoff spot, which I am incredibly excited for. But I think if Diving Phoenix just wins 1 map against White Walkers. They cannot possibly lose their playoff spot if Tater Tots lose that game. Now, they can still lose it if Cosmic Omnics were to lose that game in a map 5, so Diving Phoenix, it's unfortunate the draw they kind of got at the end of the season, having to face literally the top 2 teams for their final 2 games, especially now when they've actually, they've kind of got their strongest roster, Bambi back on the team, Honey Biscuits, Pop-Tart as well, like, kind of getting the gang back together, and they've actually done some nice things in this last half of the season, but it might be all for naught. We'll have to see. It depends on how the Cosmic Omnics Tater Tots game goes. Obviously, if one of those teams like 4-0s the other, then that other team's almost certainly going to miss the playoffs. But so we'll have to see. It's coming down to the wire here, folks. It's gonna be
and then the 8th seed is either Tater Tots or KO. Zanshin
it could be Diving Phoenix as well.
It could be Diving
still
Phoenix.
Be the 8th seed, but yes, Pizza Planet and Zanshin Tactics are the only teams that are officially eliminated from playoff contention right now. So we, the Opps, have clinched the 6th seed, and so now Stardust Crusaders, they already had a top 2 seed clinched, but now, if White Walkers loses their game against Diving Phoenix, they will get the number 1 seed.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the playoffs, as of right now, the playoff look is White Walkers, Crusaders, Prodigy Noobs, Valhalla.
It's actually Valhalla first. It's Valhalla.
Valhalla third.
Yep. Prodigy Noobs fourth.
So, Valhalla, Prodigy Noobs, I Need Healing, We the Opps, Diving Phoenix, and KO. But KO, Diving Phoenix, and Tater Tots, all 3 have a kind of rotational thing. Is there a chance that you see Tater Tots and KO making playoffs and not Diving Phoenix?
Yes. If Diving Phoenix gets 4-0'd, that scenario is actually very, very likely. Because the big thing is that both Tater Tots and Cosmic Omnics have the tiebreaker over Diving Phoenix. They both beat them in the regular season. So if you're not looking at my standing sheets, Diving Phoenix, Cosmic Omnics, Tater Tots, they're all 4 and 6. Diving Phoenix has a -2 map differential, Cosmic Omnics has a -3 map differential, and Tater Tots have a -4 map differential. And of course, Cosmic Omnics and Tater Tots play each other this week, so they'll go up and down depending on the result of their game. But
so what happens if Diving Phoenix draws a map?
Again, it depends. They basically need to gain at least 3. They need to not lose more than 2 maps, and they're pretty much in.
So if they win 3-1 and then KO and Tater Tots ends in a 4-0 or 3-1, they win.
Yes.
So if Tater Tots and KO go 3-2,
and even
then
if they take 1 map, or the only scenario in which they would miss the playoffs if they took 1 map from White Walkers is if Tater Tots won in a map 5. That is the only scenario that so again, pretty much, obviously that's a very possible scenario we do see.
Yeah.
And also, I noticed that, looks like Magic Man just gave the readies. I think Dark Psalm was, having some issues getting into the game. But
yeah, interesting playoff race, but I believe every other team has been locked in except for the 7th and the 8th seed. And I believe they're doing it the same way they did it last season. Playoffs?
Nope. Actually, it's going back to what it was before, where the 1 will play the 8, 2 will play the 7, etc., etc. And then in the semifinals, the highest remaining seed plays the lowest remaining seed, and then the other 2 teams battle each other. So
going
back to that, it was kind of I did kind of like the choosing your
Last
opponents
season, yeah.
type thing.
Because then you can choose like a rival.
Because in this case, like, if White Walkers do beat Diving Phoenix again, they, you know, they have a scenario where it's possible they draw KO as the A seed, and, you know, KO kind of on the up and up. They've been making some moves. You know, we know their potential is pretty high. That would definitely be a case where if Diving Phoenix still has the 7 seed, that I think we would see White Walkers pick Diving Phoenix again. Or maybe the other way around, you know, Diving Phoenix drops the 8 seed, but they don't feel as confident again being able to beat Diving Phoenix again, so they pick, I don't know, Tater Tots or Cosmic Omnics or whoever. Maybe, hey, you know, maybe they would pick a team like We the Opps right now, who's been kind of struggling so far in this game, you know, definitely.
That is my thing, is that We the Opps got a lot of their wins for standings wise at the beginning of the season, so a lot of their momentum and star power is like fluttered out, and they almost seem like they're the 6th seed in standings, but in power rankings they're like 8, even 9 maybe. So it's
yeah,
like,
for sure.
But you will probably see White Walkers play like, you will see White Walkers and Crusaders play like the 2 bottom teams, and then you'll see like Valhalla play We the Opps actually, and you'll see
That's definitely still up in the air, because
yeah.
actually we actually see Prodigy Noobs and Valhalla play each other, but we do have a map we need to commentate.
That is true. But you do see kind of We the Opps actually winning that fight pretty demandingly. Strozel's on the Reinhardt now, and Dark Psalm on Kree. Magic Man's playing Zarya here actually, which is something I did not expect.
Well, it's interesting. We actually see Insane here going back to his good old Wrecking Ball. He's mostly been playing support for this Stardust Crusaders team since he joined, and he has been pretty solid on it, but we all know him as that great ball player. Definitely one of the signature ball players in Tier 3.
You will see a slam coming in from Insane. It's not going to actually hit anyone, but he is going to be able to pick off Strozel. The res from Dekka now is going to get, she's going to get it off, but she's going to die for it. Strozel just trying to pin out Dark Psalm. The rest of We the Opps is trying to get out with their lives. Strozel almost has the shatter, so he might be thinking this fight is winnable. It is a, I believe, a 6v4 though. It might be a 5v4, but Dash though is putting in the pressure on the Junkrat, getting 2, and that's going to be Crusaders getting back on their feet.
So yeah, they're actually kind of running the full dive here, although I do gotta question the Junkrat a little bit. Maybe they were thinking, well no, because Magic Man's on tank now. I almost wonder if Dash would be better suited maybe on McCree here, honestly.
Strozel's just going to be able to touch the point. 0.5 seconds and a big shatter. It's going to actually take down Uravity, following with the High Noon Mines used though by Insane, clearing off the back part of the point. Psalm's going to get taken down by a Magic Man though, has the bubble to run through it, but no one's on the point. Strozel pushed too far off of it. No one touched. Dekka and Skill both use support ults. They use so many ults, and they could have even won that fight. But due to them not being able to touch the point, they lose first point.
I think they were going to lose it anyway because Dash just came up on the tire, so now it's a scary position for We the Opps because they could easily get snowballed through point B here, and it looks like they're on their way because Dash or Strife, they didn't even use their ults. They'll have it for the end of point B. And look at this stagger on Skillmatic.
I just noticed Mag is on Zen. I thought it was Sai, which would have also been a surprise, but you don't see Mag run the Zen much. You don't see Mag Dragon run the Zen much, but you know, when she does, she has fun, I think. She likes to murder things, but you know, she doesn't get to do much of that on Mercy.
Well, it just appears, you know, that we're seeing Stardust Crusaders, they're just trying to experiment with different, you know, compositions. They've mainly been running Brawl all season, so to get Dive in there too would be huge for the playoffs.
Yeah, IQ is going to get a pick off the Visor, but Insane and Urav getting the picks here on the Tracer and the ball. Pulse Bomb isn't going to find much here. The res on the Dark Psalm, actually. Insane taking a lot of damage on the Wrecking Ball right now. Is just going to decide to spin. Has to try and prevent himself from getting in the grab, though. And no one's shooting him, though. Even though he's low health, they don't seem to be focusing the targets. IQ Simple's going to find Dash. But it seems like right now with the Opps, everyone's shooting different things. Stripe's going to use the bomb on the high ground and actually catch Skill. Magdalene is going to get rid of Magic Man, and that's going to be Crusaders taking point B. And that's one thing I also see in We the Ops is that they don't focus targets as much as they should.
Yeah, I know both of those tanks were so low. Granted, Strife was almost certainly going to remech there anyway, but yeah, I mean, insane, especially on a wrecking ball. When you get them low, you have to focus them. You can't let them get away because they can easily roll out and find a health pack. So yeah, it's just a lot of little things that We the Ops needs to improve as they head into the playoffs here. You know, they'll have 2 weeks, so definitely feasible that they could do it, but still have to.
Now you see Magic Man backing up on the Reinhardt. Almost loses his life there, but the immortality is big. Mag Dragon and Sidomia both going to use the support ults here. Mag Dragon with the Transcendence is going to be able to keep the team alive. Tire from Dash doesn't seem to find one. Deck is actually going to get the pick with the Battle Mercy. IQ still on this high ground as well, just firing out from above. It's going to take out Mag Dragon's IQ. Deca is going to use the res to get skill back. Pulse Bomb not going to find anything. Uravity not able to get anything with the Pulse Bomb. Might be able to get out with their life. Will they? No, Strolls is going to chase him down, and that's going to be a retreat from Stardust Crusaders.
Man, interestingly enough, we saw Stardust Crusaders use a lot of ultimates in that fight. Pulse Bomb was Uravity swapped to Mei. They used Tire too, but no avail, and they stacked support ults, so Stardust Crusaders definitely still have some things that they need to fix as well as they head into the playoffs.
Bomb from Strife is gonna find both supports. Strife with the big bomb. Uravity's gonna end up taking out Dark Som. Strozel backing up on the Diva now. You're gonna see the pin in from Magic Man, maybe just trying to lose his life so he can respawn quick and be able to, you know, maybe engage on another fight. Strozel's gonna lose their life as well. But now the Dragons from spawn by Dark Som isn't gonna find anything. Skillmatic and Deca are gonna die straight out of spawn. IQ is on the high ground. He's end up flanking. Ends up getting Sidomia with the visor, but can anyone touch? Oh, it looks like they contested that point one, but it still pushed anyway.
Yeah, unbelievable peel there though to stop IQ's tack visor. I mean, they swarmed him, so he only got Sidomia on the Mercy. I'm actually surprised they didn't get Mag Dragon on the Zen because it looked like they were right in the sight lines. But that is exactly what Stardust Crusaders can do so well, is they notice their win conditions in a lot of these fights and they immediately capitalize on them. And I think that was a very good example of that there, because IQ had the right idea, but it also helped in that case that there wasn't really anyone coming out of spawn right off the bat, so they could easily go and try and take out IQ Simple, because he was pretty much the only threat that they had to deal with, but still to be able to find him quickly and diagnose that problem. IQ Simple almost should have stayed up on the high ground. He actually dropped to the low ground, so fortunate there for IQ Simple, but now he's gonna try Doomfist here. Let's see. This is his signature character. We'll see if he can get stuff done on it.
Yeah, I think if you're with the Ops, you already have your playoff spot locked. Of course, map differential helps, but I think you're locked at the 6th seed currently.
Yep, it's official.
So I think honestly, you could just fool around this map. Like, you don't. Of course, you want to like try something that you haven't, but like, don't try to like. I'm not gonna say don't try to win, but like, don't think that winning is necessary on this map. I think that this is a map you should take as an experimental map, like Crusaders are doing. That's what they're doing. Dive here, but they seem to be trying to coordinate it well, but your DPS are not there to engage with your tanks, and that's what happens. Magic falls because there's no follow-up by the DPS with the tanks.
Yeah, and it's tough sometimes as the diva to, you know, you want to use your boosters to engage as well, but man, they could not get out either. They probably should have just gone towards the payload instead of taking the hallway to try and get out, but what do you do?
IQ's gonna get a pick onto Sidomia, but I don't think that actually is gonna turn the fight, but he's gonna get the pick onto Strife, so that could turn the fight. Dark Salmon is gonna take out Uravity, and the DPS right now for We the Ops are turning around this fight. IQ going in on the Doom is gonna pick off Dash, but get trapped before he can land the punch into Insane. Insane now getting the full dive, and this is where your dive comes through, is that even though IQ gets the first 2 picks, they start calling the targets and focusing them later. They need to keep doing that.
You know, it's good to see some fight here from We the Ops. Yeah, I mean, IQ Simple looking good on the Doomfist. I mean, if he's this good consistently, they should try to, you know, make team comps that he can work in. Obviously, you know, dive is certainly an option, but I mean, even in some of the brawl comps, I think you can make Doomfist work, so I'm surprised he hasn't played it more.
Yeah, and you're gonna see IQ going in on the Doomfist here, has the Meteor Strike, but you're gonna see them kind of get out with their life. You might see like maybe a Ball Slam Meteor Strike combo from Strozel and IQ Simple, put out a lot of damage with it if they do. Strozel going in for the slam, he's gonna hit the slam in the mines. Dark Psalms end up gonna get taken down by their own pulse bomb. Strozel's gonna get taken down. So Simple and skill and good. They tried to combine the ults there, but it didn't work out.
What a 1000 IQ play from, I think it was Insane. He got stuck, and Dark Psalm was caught in Dash's trap, and Insane went up to the Tracer to make sure that they died to their own pulse bomb. Great play from Insane.
Actually, I think it actually stuck Insane's shield. I don't think it stuck Insane. I think it stuck Insane's shield, and he dropped it, which meant pulse bomb just kind of fell onto the ground, and it was right next to the trap.
But the voice line did come out from the Tracer.
That is true.
I don't
well,
think
it does if it sticks a shield. Yeah, does it? I think it does. And the bomb gets botched by Magic Man. It doesn't get up over the ship. Strozel gets nanoed on the wrecking ball now. Maybe he can put in a high damage with those guns. Doesn't seem like it though. It seems like it's a loss for the Opps. They used the Meteor Strike to try and keep it alive. IQ Simple trying to focus this. Sigma is end up gonna get Sidomia, I think, on accident there. Magic Man's ended up cleaning Insane. He's the only one alive. The nade from Skill Max gonna hit the shield. Magic just trying to fly around, make himself hard to hit. He's gonna get demeched and taken out here though.
Yeah, they were almost able to turn it around, but both the supports down. If they could have, you know, kept at least one of them up, maybe IQ Simple could have stayed alive longer. So, you know, now we're gonna see Dash has that tire available. Pretty much nothing on the side of the Opps except for the sound barrier. So maybe if Deca Goody can time the sound barrier right to stop Dash's tire, that could be a huge opening for the Opps as they try to capture point B.
IQ Simple is going to get the pick onto Uravdi very early here on the Doomfist too. That could be a good pick. Uravdi is going to get rezzed by Mag Dragon right next to Magic Man. IQ's going to go down to Insane. He's not swapped over to the Zarya. I didn't see that. And now you're going to see the fight kind of ending here. Strife's going to take out Strozel. Uravdi's going to take out Magic Man, and that's going to be the fight.
And that was great discipline there from Stardust Crusaders. They didn't use any of their ultimates. Now granted, Deca did not use theirs either, so they still have the possibility to counteract Dash's tire, but now look at all the other ults that Stardust Crusaders has. With only 2 minutes left, Stardust plays this right. This might be all the further the payload gets here on Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Yeah, Magic Man has the bomb, but you know, could he get the value here with the Baptiste in play? Is the real question. He's gonna get DMAC before he even uses it. IQ though is on the high ground now, ready to go in on the Doomfist. Dark Psalm's gonna get the pick onto Strife. Dash gets taken down by the Doomfist, but Strife is gonna get rezzed by Mag Dragon. Immortality down, Meteor Strike and Mines are used. IQ ready to go in, but a high noon from Uravdi. He's gonna take him down. Deca is gonna use the beat to try and get the fight alive, but Stroz is gonna go down. Bomb from Magic Man is gonna find two. It's still winnable, but Uravdi and Dash and Mag Dragon are still alive, and the window is up as well. Deck is gonna go down. The anti-nade is gonna go onto Dash, and the nade from Magic Man's gonna go onto Sidomia. But can they stay alive? Dash has the tire, falls desperately low to the end of a Mag Dragon is there with the healing. Dash is gonna take the one-on-one, but is gonna get maybe caught up by the monkey. But no, Strozel does not jump high enough. Sidomia does get the pick on to Magic Man, and that might be the fight. It will be.
And Dash held on to the tire. They have tire grab for this final fight here. Stardust Crusaders. This just isn't looking good for We the Opps. Dark Psalm is gonna have to come through with a miracle high noon for We the Opps to have any chance to win this final team fight. Or IQ Simple's gonna have to come up with a big opening pick.
Magic Man does almost have the bomb as well. Dark Psalm though is gonna get monitored on the high ground by Uravdi on the crate. Rav is gonna be used. It's gonna catch many. Bomb used Tire used by Dash. Bomb used by Magic Man is not going to get Insane. Insane's going to end up bubbling and getting the charge off of it. Mag Dragon's going to use the Valk just to end it out. Dark Psalm on point using the High Noon isn't going to find anything. Can anyone touch? Urav using the High Noon, spacing him off. Skill looking for the sleep before he touches, but he doesn't. And that's going to be a 4-0 for Crusaders.
Yep, definitely a great victory for Stardust Crusaders going into the playoffs here. That is exactly what you want to see, get that momentum for the playoffs. And so now, you know, this team only one loss on the regular season. As much as White Walkers are certainly the favorites to win it right now, I think, you know, you're looking at Stardust Crusaders also being another team that will be battling for a championship as well. So, and especially if they can put together more performances like this, I mean, they're right there with White Walkers in my opinion.
So do I. I think that some people may say that White Walkers were kind of like, you know, not figured out yet. And I definitely think that they weren't at their best at the beginning of the season, but I think Crusaders still, like, they still earned that win against White Walkers. It was a very good match between both teams in that first week. So I think that Crusaders versus White Walkers could be finals, and I think it could be a good one.
So we'll see if we're going to do interviews, but of course we do have MVPs to discuss.
I think I have my 3.
So for me, you know, it's interesting. I actually think IQ Simple did kind of put his name in the ring, but I was definitely thinking along the lines of Ant Hopkins, Uravity, Mac Dragon.
That was exactly my 3. The only person I think would maybe argue for Ant Hopkins is Strife, because he played 4 maps on tank, with Ant only playing 2, but still.
He didn't play on
Blizzard
World. Yeah.
Correct. I do think though, like, Strife did do very good. I will say that he is the runner-up, I think, but Ant Hopkins did do very good when he was in.
Ant Hopkins was dominating there, especially on Blizzard World. That was a great performance on both the Zarya and the Sigma. Ant Hopkins definitely, you know, a sneaky player who has kind of been rising the ranks of best off tanks in the league. He really has been a player I think Stardust has been really thankful to have. He also does have a pretty expansive hero pool, whereas Eldritch, Strife, maybe a little bit more limited, and Ant Hopkins kind of fills in those gaps for them really nicely. So
he was my replacement. I was like, I climbed and they were like, Ant's coming back. I was like, good. And Ant came back right as I climbed, and it worked out perfect for them. I was like, I think that Ant filled a very good hole. I think that he has a very similar hero pool to mine, and I think that that's something that they, like, will miss. Is, like, we're going to miss if they didn't get Ant back when they did. But Ant came back and almost made it seem like I never left, and I think that's very good for them.
And yeah, I don't think you can really make too much of a argument for Uravity. Another dominant performance from him. Just, I mean, right away on that first map, completely took that Strozel out of that first map with the McCree difference. And it just felt like they were playing a bunch of different characters too, you know? Anything from his hand to the Junkrats. It felt like they were really expanding their hero pool tonight.
Yeah. I honestly think that, even though you say that, I think that is the least amount of heroes I've seen Uravity play in a 4-map set. He does play a lot of Kree, Junkrat, Mei, but, like, back when I played with him, I usually saw, like, you know, the Ashe, I saw Genji, I saw the Tracer more, I saw the... What's the hero I'm thinking of? It's on the tip of my tongue, help me, Kirby. It's a DPS. What is the hero I'm thinking
Have they played Reaper in the past?
Yes, Reaper is one of them. but I don't think that was the hero I'm thinking of. It is... Actually,
Maybe,
I might be wrong. Maybe Pharah is who I'm thinking of. It could be Echo. Might be Echo.
Yeah, we did see the MVP noms from Stardust Crusaders be Simple and Skillmatic, and yeah, that was the only one I was considering from We the Opps was IQ Simple. I mean, he really was dominating there on that final map, but
I think Magic Man did some things on Blizzard World on Junkrat.
Yeah, I think in terms of the DPS battle, We the Opps still actually kept it fairly even. It was most of the other things that I think Stardust Crusaders really had. It seemed like they just had the better tank synergy. You know, the supports were peeling better for the rest of the team. Overall, like, ult management and rotations, team synergy, just Stardust kind of had everything else tonight. But I think We the Opps, DPS, Magic Man, and IQ Simple did play quite well tonight, and you know, that's why you can't sleep on this team. You know, they actually have some sneaky players that have a lot of mechanical skill. It's just about them coming together, you know, making smart decisions, being, you know, playing together as a team, knowing everyone's play style, knowing what they want to do, constructing good team compositions.
Yeah. I think if they get, like, a team coordination down almost, that they can be a very good team. I think they had the heroes at some points there, but they just didn't have the target focus and the rotations down to be able to capitalize off of it.
Alright, so who are we going with our MVPs? Tank, DPS, and support?
I think it's still gonna be Uravity.
Yeah, and Uravity, and I guess we haven't really discussed the support MVPs. You know, I think Insane also deserves a bit of a shout out tonight. I think they were playing really well, but Magdragon was just another one of her signature performances, playing actually a bunch of different characters other than just the Mercy. We saw them playing BAP to a pretty high level. Zen there at the end, the Zen was looking pretty clean too. Obviously got play of the game. I think Magdragon gets it this week as well. So, but Insane also played pretty well.
Alrighty, so that'll be
Yeah,
this game ending with Stardust Crusaders taking the 4-0 over We the Opps, and our MVPs will be at Hopkins on tank, Uravity on DPS, and Magdragon on support. I think there's a game sometime tomorrow, or I think the next one will be Thursday, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, so far, yeah, I think it's just Thursday, which is our game, Pizza Planet versus
I Need Healing,
I Need Healing, which sadly doesn't have a whole lot to do in terms of playoff implications, but I think should still be a pretty good game anyway. Pizza Planet, obviously, they've been improving. A lot of close games lately. Definitely a game that, and you know, I Need Healing kind of been up and down all season, but a chance for them to get some momentum going into the playoffs. Yeah, do we know if any of these players want to do a quick interview?
I actually have to go, but...
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No problem then.
Alrighty, so everybody have a good night, and we'll see you Thursday.
Yeah.
See.